Far above the sleeping earth, beyond the reach of mountains and storms, existed a world that only the wind truly knew. It was called Aerozia, the airplane world where the sky was not empty but alive. Endless layers of clouds formed floating cities, runways of light, and spiraling airways where living airplanes flew with purpose and pride. In Aerozia, airplanes were born from the sky core itself. They had glowing eyes in their cockpits, voices carried by radio waves, and hearts powered by the rhythm of the wind. The elders said the sky had once been silent, until the sky core ignited and gave life to wings. On this day, Aerozia celebrated the festival of flight, a grand event held once every century. The skies shimmered with color, as jets performed elegant spirals. Cargo planes carried banners across the clouds, and young propeller planes raced joyfully between wind tunnels. Laughter echoed through the air, and the sky core pulsed peacefully at the center of the world, a massive crystal floating within a ring of glowing currents. Then, without warning, the wind screamed. A deep, unnatural sound rolled through the skies like thunder trapped inside metal. The clouds darkened in seconds, twisting into violent shapes. One by one, the glowing runways flickered. A small passenger plane suddenly lost lift and spiraled downward, its engines coughing in fear. What's happening? Cried a scout plane over the radio. Before an answer came, the sky core trembled. A sharp crack split across its surface, glowing red like a wound. A shock wave burst outward, throwing airplanes in every direction. Jets struggled to stabilize. Cargo planes tilted dangerously, and the once gentle winds turned wild and cruel. Panic spread instantly. Emergency! Emergency! Radios screamed across Aerozia. Engines failing at Sector 9. I can't control my wings. An elderly plane named Verex, one of the oldest guardians of the sky, watched in horror as the clouds collapsed into violent storms. He had flown since the first dawn of Aerozia, and never not once had he seen the sky core damaged. This should not be possible, Verex whispered, his voice heavy with dread. The core is the heart of the sky. Lightning ripped through the clouds, striking a floating runway and shattering it into glowing fragments. A squad of young training planes barely escaped, their metal shaking as they fled. Below them, the endless drop opened a terrifying abyss where broken airplanes vanished forever. A cargo plane slipped, its massive wings failing, and disappeared into the darkness as its final signal faded into static. Fear replaced celebration. In the capital city of Stratos Prime, the Council of Wings assembled in chaos. Giant holographic maps showed storms spreading rapidly across Aerozia. Entire air routes were collapsing. If the sky core continues to crack, warned a navigation jet, the winds will reverse. Gravity will take control. We will fall. Silence followed. Every airplane understood what that meant. The end of the airplane world. As the storm intensified, something darker moved within it. Shadows twisted unnaturally, forming sharp, fast shapes. A chilling presence spread through the air, cold, heavy, and full of hunger. From the heart of the storm, a distorted radio signal echoed. The sky is no longer yours. Planes froze mid-flight. That voice, Verex said slowly, it cannot be. Long ago, there had been legends of a plane that fed on chaos, a creation that rejected the sky core and saw power beyond balance. It was said to have vanished into forbidden airspace, never to return. But now, the storm answered with laughter made of static. The sky core cracked again. This time, the damage was visible across all of Aerozia. Winds screamed like living creatures. Engines failed in midair. Young planes clung to floating structures, terrified and powerless. And then, as if the sky itself remembered something long forgotten, an ancient signal activated. Deep within the highest clouds, a forgotten beacon lit up golden, steady, and calm amid the chaos. The elders felt it instantly. Verex's eyes widened. The prophecy, he murmured, the one written in the first winds. Across every frequency, the words echoed softly, carried by the surviving calm air. When the skies break and wings lose faith, when the heart of wind begins to fall, one will come from beyond the storm. Her name is Senta. The storm raged harder, as if angered by the name. Yet somewhere beyond Aerozia, beyond fear and darkness, something answered the call. A distant light pierced the clouds. Hope, small, fragile, but real, returned to the sky. The storm had no center anymore. It was everywhere. Aerozia no longer felt like a world, but a battlefield where the sky fought itself. Winds collided like raging oceans. Clouds crushed together, and the once brilliant blue above turned into a bruised black mass streaked with fire. Inside Stratos Prime, emergency lights flickered along the floating platforms. Airplanes clung to docking towers, their wings shaking as violent air currents slammed against them. Engines whined in exhaustion, and fear buzzed through every open radio channel. The beacon is still active, a radar jet reported, its voice strained. But whatever's coming, if it's coming, it has to cross the dead air. Asterisk dead air was the forbidden zone beyond Aerozia, where winds did not exist. No airplane had ever crossed it and returned. Asterisk Varix hovered near the council platform, his old frame battered by debris. He stared into the storm, searching the darkness for meaning. The prophecy never promised safety, he said quietly. Only hope. Asterisk as if the sky itself heard him. The wind suddenly paused, not stopped, paused. The storm froze in a breathless moment. Lightning hung suspended like veins of light, and clouds stopped their violent churn. Every airplane felt it, a strange silence pressing against the airframes, deeper than fear. Then the dead air split open. A narrow line of golden light appeared in the distance, slicing through the black clouds. It widened slowly, pushing the storm aside as if the chaos feared what was emerging. Asterisk radar screamed. Asterisk, energy readings spiked beyond known limits. Asterisk, what is that? Whispered a young scout plane. Asterisk, from the light came a shape sleek, unfamiliar, moving with purpose rather than panic. It was an aircraft unlike any Aerozian designed. Its wings shimmered with soft white energy, etched with symbols that glowed and faded like breathing stars. The fuselage reflected the storm but remained untouched by it. At its controls sat Senta. Her silver goggles reflected the broken sky. Wind whipped past her cockpit, yet her hands were steady on the controls. The aircraft responded not with mechanical noise but with a deep, harmonic hum as if it were alive in a different way. This was Aurora Wing. As she crossed into air, the dead air collapsed behind her, sealing itself like a wound. The storm roared back to life but it bent around her path. Lightning curved away. Winds parted. The airplanes watching could hardly believe their sensors. She's not fighting the storm, the radar jet said. She's guiding it. Santa's voice broke across all frequencies clear.com. Human, Aerozia, she said. I heard your call. Asterisk for a moment. No one responded. Then hundreds of radios activated at once, overlapping in disbelief. Asterisk a human. Asterisk, she flies without fear. Asterisk, is this the one? Asterisk Senta guided Aurora Wing toward Stratos Prime. As she descended, damaged airplanes felt something shift inside their engines. Stabilizers corrected themselves. Failing wings found lift again. It was subtle but real. Asterisk she landed on the central platform with impossible grace. Light spread outward from Aurora Wing's landing gear, reinforcing the cracked structure beneath her. Asterisk Virex moved forward, his ancient engines humming low. You crossed the dead air, he said. That alone makes you legend. Asterisk Senta removed her goggles. Her eyes were tired but determined. Legends don't matter, she replied. Survival does. The ground shook violently. A wave of darkness surged through the clouds, and a massive shadow passed overhead. The temperature dropped instantly. Radios crackled with static as a distorted signal forced its way through. Asterisk, she does not belong here. Asterisk, the voice was sharp, metallic, and filled with hatred. Senta looked up. High above them, the storm twisted into a towering spiral. From its heart emerged a jet-black aircraft, its wings jagged and broken, engines burning with unnatural red fire. Pieces of corrupted metal floated around it like orbiting debris. Gasps rippled through Stratos Prime. The black jet? Varix whispered. The fallen one. Asterisk, the sky core pulsed weakly, reacting to the presence. Cracks spread further, light leaking out like blood. Asterisk Senta stepped forward, placing a hand on Aurora Wing's hull. The aircraft responded with a soft glow, as if answering her resolve. Asterisk, I didn't come to fight a world, she said calmly, her voice steady despite the terror above. I came to save one? Asterisk the black jet laughed, a sound of grinding steel. Then you will fall with it. The storm closed in again, fiercer than before. But this time, Aerozia was not alone. Asterisk as Senta climbed back into Aurora Wing, and the engines ignited with radiant force. Hope surged through the skies not as a wish, but as a decision. Asterisk the battle for the airplane world had begun. The sky shattered into motion. Asterisk, the moment Aurora Wing lifted from Stratos Prime. The storm reacted as if struck by a living force. Winds howled, spiraling violently toward the heart of the clouds where the black jet waited, its engines burning like open wounds in the sky. Asterisk Senta pushed the throttle forward, and Aurora Wing surged upward, leaving a trail of glowing light behind her. The air around her vibrated not with fear, but with purpose. Asterisk all units. Varix's voice rang across the radios, stronger than before. Form defensive wings around the sky core. Protect the heart of Aerozia. Asterisk jets, cargo planes, scouts, and trainers rose into the storm, their lights blinking like stars fighting back the night. Fear still lived in their circuits, but something new burned. Alongside it, belief. The black jet moved. It vanished in a burst of red flame and reappeared behind a squad of fighters. A wave of corrupted energy tore through the air, shredding clouds and sending two planes spinning helplessly. Static screamed across the radio as one signal cut out entirely. Asterisk no, Senta whispered. Asterisk she rolled Aurora Wing sharply, diving between the falling planes. The aircraft responded instantly, wings flexing with impossible precision. A pulse of light erupted from her engines. stabilizing the damaged planes long enough for rescue teams to catch them. Asterisk, the black jet screeched in rage. Asterisk, you protect what will fall anyway, it snarled. The Sky Core is dying. The wind has chosen me. Asterisk, lightning slammed into the Sky Core's containment ring. Another crack spread across the crystal, and the glow dimmed further. Gravity tugged harder, dragging the world downward. Asterisk, Varix struggled to maintain altitude near the core. Senta, he warned, we're losing balance. If the core shatters, asterisk, I know, she replied. Her eyes locked onto the glowing fractures in the crystal. I can feel it. She could feel more than that. As Aurora Wing cut through the storm, Senta sensed the Sky Core rhythm broken, uneven, crying out. It wasn't just energy. It was a living harmony, thrown into chaos. The black jet charged. It flew straight toward the Sky Core, engines screaming as red energy gathered at its nose. The air itself began to tear. Asterisk, intercept. Varric shouted. Asterisk. Dozens of airplanes moved to block the path, forming a desperate barrier of wings. The black jet slammed into them with terrifying force. Several were thrown aside, their frames scorched, but they held just long enough. Senta made her decision. She cut her engines. Asterisk gasps echoed across the radios as Aurora Wing suddenly lost thrust and began to fall. Gliding silently toward the Sky Core, the storm raged around her, but without engine resistance. The winds wrapped gently around the aircraft, guiding rather than attacking. Asterisk, what is she doing? A scout cried. Asterisk, she crash? Another yelled. Asterisk inside the cockpit. Senta closed her eyes and let go. Asterisk, Aurora Wing glowed brighter than ever, its symbols blazing with pure white light. The aircraft wasn't falling, it was listening. The wind slowed, aligned, and carried her forward. The black jet hesitated, for the first time. Uncertainty flickered through its corrupted frame. Asterisk, no, it hissed. That power is forbidden. Senta opened her eyes. This world doesn't need control, she said softly. It needs balance. Aurora Wing reached a Sky Core. Light erupted. Asterisk. A wave of energy burst outward, not destructive, but harmonizing. The storm froze mid-chaos. Winds realigned into flowing currents. Gravity steadied. The cracks in the Sky Core stopped spreading, glowing gold instead of red. Asterisk, the black jet screamed as the light washed over it. Corrupted metal burned away, revealing damaged but familiar wings beneath. Asterisk, memories lost, flights, forgotten skies flooded back into its systems. Asterisk, I was a guardian, the black jet whispered, its voice breaking. I was meant to protect. Asterisk, yes, Senta said, guiding Aurora Wing closer, and you still can. Asterisk, the final crack in the Sky Core sealed itself with a blinding flash. A shockwave of pure wind swept across Aerozia, clearing the storm entirely. Blue sky returned. Sunlight spilled across the clouds, illuminating airplanes frozen in awe. The black jet's engines died, and it drifted downward, no longer hostile, only exhausted. Asterisk, Varix caught it with stabilizing winds, preventing its fall. The Sky Core pulsed once, then again, strong, steady, alive. Across Aerozia, engines stabilized. Wings lifted ice. Gravity released its grip. Asterisk, cheers erupted across every frequency. Planes formed spirals of celebration, lights flashing joyously. Some wept openly through static-filled radios. Asterisk, Senta restarted Aurora Wing's engines and rose gently into the clear sky. Asterisk, the impossible had happened. Asterisk, the airplane world had been saved not by force, but by trust in the wind. Asterisk, and above her, written in the currents of air itself, the skies remembered her name. The storm did not end with a roar, it ended with a breath. Aerozia exhaled, as if it had been holding the sky together through sheer will alone. The violent winds softened into gentle currents. Clouds slowly untangled themselves, and sunlight spilled across the upper atmosphere like a promise kept at last. The Sky Core hovered at the center of it all, whole, luminous, and steady, its glow no longer strained, but calm and warm, like a healed heart. Asterisk, for a long moment, no one spoke. Asterisk, airplanes drifted quietly through the clear sky, their engines humming in disbelief. Some bore scorched wings, others cracked frames, but they remained aloft. They were alive. The endless drop had closed. Gravity had loosened its grip. Aerozia still existed. Asterisk, near Stratos Prime. Aurora Wing descended in a wide, graceful arc. As Senta guided the aircraft down, the floating platforms beneath her brightened, responding to the restored harmony of the wind. The landing was smooth, almost ceremonial. Asterisk, when her wheels touched down, the sky seemed to lean closer. Asterisk, jets slowed and hovered respectfully. Cargo planes lowered their massive wings. Small training aircraft gathered near the edges, peeking forward with awe-filled curiosity. Together, they formed a vast ring around Senta and Aurora Wing, a living circle of gratitude. Asterisk, Varix moved to the front. His ancient engines steady now, no longer rattled by fear. His voice carried across every open frequency. Deep and resonant. Asterisk, Aerozia stands, he said, because one chose to listen when the sky cried out. Asterisk, a ripple of sound followed, engines humming in agreement, wings rustling like applause. Senta stepped down from Aurora Wing. The wind touched her gently. No longer wild, no longer testing her strength, she felt the difference immediately. The sky trusted itself again. I didn't save your world, she said quietly. You saved it yourselves. I only reminded the wind how to flow. High above, the aircraft once known as the Black Jet hovered at a distance. Its jagged edges had softened, the red corruption gone, replaced by a dull metallic ray marked with scars of old battles. Slowly, it descended, keeping its distance, uncertain of its place. I remember now, it said, its voice no longer distorted. I was built to guard the Sky Core. When fear entered me, I mistook control for protection. Varix turned toward it. Fear does that to all of us. The former Black Jet lowered its wings in humility. If Aerozia will allow it, I will serve again not as a ruler of the sky, but as a watcher. A moment passed, then a path of calm air opened before it. Then fly, Varix said. And remember, the Council of Wings assembled beneath the Sky Core, their platforms aligning with ancient precision. Light flowed between them, forming the circle of balance. For the first time in Aerozia's history, a human stood within it. Senta, Varix said. The first winds spoke of your arrival, but they never commanded your future. You may remain here. The sky would accept you as its guardian. The wind stilled. Awaiting her answer, Senta looked around at the planes repairing one another midair, at young flyers tracing joyful loops through the sunlight, at the Sky Core shining peacefully above. She felt the pull to stay, to protect, ensure the sky would never break again, but she also felt something else. The horizon. If I stay, she said slowly, Aerozia will rely on me instead of itself. Balance isn't held by one set of hands, it's shared by all who fly. She turned back to Aurora Wing, resting her palm against its glowing hull. This world doesn't need a ruler in the sky, it needs faith in the wind. Understanding moved through the council like a soft current. Then go, Varix said, bowing his great wings. But leave us something to remember. Senta nodded. Aurora Wing's symbols ignited, glowing brighter than ever before. A pulse of light rose from the aircraft and flowed into the Sky Core. The crystal responded, reshaping the energy into a symbol that spread across the upper atmosphere. A wing, encircled by a spiral of wind, shining gently but eternally. It could be seen from every air route, every cloud city, every horizon, a promise written in the sky. As Senta climbed back into the cockpit, every airplane in Aerozia lifted into the air with her. They formed a massive upward current, a living farewell that carried her toward the edge of the world. The wind, strengthened not violently, but proudly. At the boundary of the dead air, Senta paused. She looked back once more. Aerozia gleamed and broken, united, alive. She tipped Aurora, wings in farewell. Then she crossed beyond the sky. Years passed, Aerozia endured. The Sky Core remained whole, its glow steady and wise. New runways were built, stronger and more flexible. Flight schools taught young planes not just how to fly but how to listen. Storms still came, but they no longer ruled the sky. They were understood. Senta's story became tradition. It was told during first solo flights and whispered through radios on long journeys. Her symbol was carved into cloud platforms and etched into navigation charts. And when the wind grew uncertain, the elders always said the same words. Trust the wind. It remembers. Sometimes on the quietest days scout planes reported a distant glow beyond the far clouds. A gentle hum in the air that smoothed turbulence and guided lost wings home. No alarms were ever raised because Aerozia knew. Legends do not disappear, they fly on.